So, our floor director today is the Academy Award nominated Mr. Sean Phillips, who I was on tour with for basically the past week.
Of course. Hi, Sean.
Watching sports.
Good to see you.
And one of the many highlights I had was when this woman handed him her phone and said, hey, do you mind taking a picture of us? To which, as he's starting to frame it up, the woman next to us takes the phone out of his hand and says, oh, here, my daughter's very good at taking pictures. and he was like, whatever.
She has no idea who she handed the phone to.
Yeah. Then he just looked at me and he's like, how long has she been a member of the Academy? And I just lost it. Because I was just like,
quiet, please.
Yeah, you don't know who you just took the phone from, but whatever.
In 4,
I'm sure the 18-year-old took a great portrait photo
3,
for Instagram, but it was very fun.
2.
Company presents a Truly Terrible Podcast. Welcome to Nonsense Season 3, Episode 55, our one and only show of this week. I'm Jeff Parker.
I'm Skittle.
This is our take on the week's business, tech, and entertainment headlines. This time, 900,000 missing jobs. The labor market is weaker than we thought.
What's a million jobs between friends?
Surprise, surprise. It turns out China has trade leverage too.
Look, at this point, all I care about are the dumplings. Don't ruin the dumplings for me. That's it.
Elon Musk's Boring Company slammed with environmental violations in Las Vegas.
No, I don't believe you. I'm shocked.
Just shocked.
Flabbergasted. How could this happen?
Beijing strikes back at foreign scrutiny of Huawei's supply chain.
Wait, Huawei doesn't make dumplings, right? Are the dumplings safe?
They make a lot of other things.
I've made my position clear on this.
Also, there's no big story this week. I'll be dodgering. Lots of back-to-back games.
Unbelievable, Jeffrey. Taking the day off for sports? How dare you?
Terrible.
I would never do that.
The games are like starting at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so I literally, to get to them, have to leave at noon.
It's a very hard life you lead. By the way, I live in Los Angeles. You live like 12 miles from Dodger Stadium, and you have to leave 4 hours beforehand just to get there in time because LA.
I'm actually starting to not like going to sports because of the traffic issues.
I mean, this is the world that I'm in. This is why I only join you for half of the games you invite me to because I just can't be bothered.
It's just so hard to get across town. And then when you get to the stadium, getting into the stadium is so hard. Even going through the concourse, trying to get into where the seats are is like, you are being jostled. I mean, it's just body to body people.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess it's a good problem to have. People like the
it
team,
is, but when you're entering Dodger Stadium and there's a SIG alert on the entrance, it's a problem. What happened? I don't understand.
It's Ada Lovelace Day. Born the daughter of Lord Byron, Augusta Ada Byron was raised by her mother, Annabella, who feared she'd inherit a poetic streak. It's quite possible if your father is Lord Byron. The solution, a strict education in logic and mathematics.
Look, I haven't been a parent for long, but if your biggest problem with your child is them inheriting a quote poetic streak, I think you're doing pretty damn well.
Perhaps your worries are misguided.
Oh no, not a poet. What? It's fine.
Not an insanely talented poet.
We wouldn't want that.
Ada thrived obsessing over mechanisms, designing steam flying machines, and embracing the British Industrial Revolution. In 1833, she met Charles Babbage. Their intensive years-long partnership helped refine his pioneering invention, the analytical engine, a precursor to the modern computer. Lovelace gained renown in 1842 after expanding on a scientific article. In her famous notes, she grasped the revolutionary potential of using the machine to manipulate symbols. Her programs were the most elaborate and complete of the time and the first to be published, earning her the title, the first computer programmer. A little known fact, she used to program in Rust.
She took one look at JavaScript. She's like, no analytical engine of mine's running JavaScript. I also love being known as the first computer programmer. It's like, oh, she got teased mercifully in school.
Oh, sure.
What do you think Miss Lovelace would think if we could bring her back to life into 2025 and show her how we're using the modern computer to just generate memes?
What we've done with her invention?
Just AI videos of Will Smith eating spaghetti. Thanks, Ada. Thanks a lot.
I'm sure she'd be thrilled.
For our listeners that have little kids, there's an excellent book on Ada Lovelace from the Little People Big Dreams series that I love.
Yes.
I read it to my kids all the time. I strongly suggest it for the crafting of all future nerds out there. You should check it out.
How is your week going?
Oh, my week. How long do we have? In a word.
I know this is going to be the whole show.
It's been exciting. Yeah, basically the show is going to be an update on my life because what's more important than me and the sound of my own voice? So me and the floor director today, Mr. Sean Phillips, hatched a plan to go to the Tigers home game 2. Now, these tickets were bought when the Tigers were currently leading the league and were set to have home game 2 be game 2.
Sure.
As it turns out, that's not how history played out.
Yeah.
And the Tigers ended up in the wild wild card series, this turned into game 4 instead of game 2. So there was no guarantee it was going to be played.
What was the end of your season? It was 1-11?
Let's not talk about it. It's not important. So, okay, I don't want to fly all the way to Detroit and then have them not play game 4. So let's go ahead and buy game 3 seats. And then at least we make sure we'll see one game if game 4 is not played.
Because it's best of 5.
It's best of 5.
Yeah.
And then the next day after game 4 was the Red Wings home opener, which would be lovely to see. So let's go to the Red Wings home opener.
Well, you think it'll be lovely to see. I'm not sure any of those games are going to be lovely to see this season.
Oh, why not? Let's go try. And then I called my dad and I said, what are you doing? And he said, I'm in my 70s and retired. Nothing.
Yeah.
So I got him to come out. He joined us for the games. I'm like, this is going to be a great time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get to see 3 games back to back. Now, there is one quick thing I want to highlight on this show. On my flight in, I had to go through O'Hare.
Yeah.
O'Hare, basically 1 out of every 4 times you go through Chicago, you're going to get screwed. It's just how it works.
Screwed in what way?
Just your flight. You're going to miss a connection. A plane's going to break. It's going to be some Teamster strike. Something's going to happen that's going to screw you.
Overcharged for a Cinnabon.
Well, that's a given. They just go, if you don't expect that, you're not traveling well. So anyway, so we get in. It had rained. Now, it was dry when we got there. Or at least it wasn't raining anymore. But the gates were screwed up. Flights were screwed up. We couldn't get to our gate. Long story short, I have about 15 minutes to make my connection. Now, I've come into Concourse C. I'm leaving from Concourse F. Anyone that knows O'Hare knows that that is a small marathon to run to get there.
Yeah, sure.
I got 15 minutes.
Not a small airport.
I'm going to try it anyway. And the flight attendants asked everyone to remain seated when we got to the gate for those with connections. Of course, people didn't. I got a little vocal very nicely, got people to sit back down. Okay, I get off the plane. I am now going to run my chubby self as fast as I can to Concourse F.
Yeah.
And I go for a tear. I've got a roller bag behind me. I've got my backpack on that weighs like 40 pounds. I'm insane.
Yeah.
I am running through people, right? Trying to be as nice as I can, tell people on my left. I start hearing someone behind me yelling. Hey, hey. And I did the best thing I could imagine. I ignored it and I kept running.
Sure, because you don't want to slow down.
I don't want to slow down. Whatever's happened, it doesn't need my involvement. It was basically my thought. So I keep running. I make it another 100. I figured maybe I brushed on someone, hit their toes. They're pissed off, whatever. I'm going to keep going. I keep running. I make it probably another 150 yards with this person yelling behind me. Now the yelling's getting closer because I'm chubby and I'm running slower.
Sure.
So after about a good 200 yards of running, I'm now just dead and I'm slowed to a jog and the voice is getting closer and I'm like, I got to deal with this. I turn around fully expecting fisticuffs. I fully expect this is not going to end well.
Okay.
And this dude comes up behind me about half my age, completely out of breath. And he's like, dude, you dropped your phone. And he hands me back my phone.
I knew it was going to be something nice.
My first reaction was just to hug this guy.
Of course.
And I just hugged him and picked him up. And I was like, dude, if I get stuck here, I'm buying you a beer.
Sure.
That's all I know. And I grab my phone and I keep tearing out towards the gate. I, of course, run past my gate. I get back to my gate. The plane's delayed for an hour. So it was no big deal. Like, it ended up being absolutely fine. But the point is, I made it.
You land in Detroit and it turns out it's not your phone.
And it was someone else's phone. I just thought that was lovely. Just completely restores your faith in humanity. When this dude chased me for hundreds of yards.
Made that much effort.
With my phone. And he should have just thrown it in the trash can. Like, he should have just not even bothered. But this guy was great. And it would have, by the way, wrecked my trip if I didn't have my phone. Absolutely wrecked my trip.
Would have made things complicated. You'd have to go to an Apple store and get a new one.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe not wreck. maybe wreck was the strong word, but I like my version better. Sure. Anyway, we get to the game. Game 3, disaster, rain delay for 3 hours. We lose. The best part of game 3 was not a Detroit thing. It was a Seattle thing. And it was Seattle star player, this guy, Cal Raleigh, who's his nickname is the Big Dumper.
Yeah.
He'd hit like 60 home runs. He hits his 61st home run in game 3. And the guy that catches it out in the outfield, a fan, is wearing a shirt that says dump 61 here. And he catches the 61st home run.
Oh my word, that's amazing.
Which is amazing.
Somebody had a splatter chart before they picked their seats.
He then proceeds to take off the shirt, and underneath the dump 61 here shirt is a shirt that says dump 62 here.
That's awesome.
And the Mariner fans go bananas, right? Because this is like the coolest thing you've ever seen. Social media picks it up. He gets highlighted on Seattle's social media. They invite him to game 5. It's a whole thing, right? It's really cool. So I thought that was really neat. So we go to game 4. Game 4 is lovely.
Yeah.
Now we decided, because we're both smart asses that we needed to bring in some pizzazz. So for game 4, we brought in jackets, tiger jackets that are just tiger print jackets, and a big sign that said plug the big dumper.
Sure.
And we brought in 2 plungers. We smuggled 2 plungers into Comerica Park through security.
How did you get them through security?
That's not important. We used something called our prison pocket, and that's how we did it. But kids at home, you go ahead and Google that. You'll figure it out. And so we got them in, and we're waving these around like idiots. People think it's really funny. They're taking pictures of us, yada, yada, yada. We win the game. It was lovely. We're walking back to our hotel in Detroit, and I look behind me and I realize, oh, that's the Dump 62 guy. He's wearing the Dump 62 shirt. And I went over and I was like, dude, you got to take a picture with us. And he sees the sign. He starts laughing.
Yeah.
And I was like, but you can't smile. You got to look like super sad. He does. Takes a photo with us, which was really a great sport. He's a great dude. Okay, that's the end. We're going to the Wings game tomorrow. We'll be done. That night, I said to Sean, I was like, we need to go. We need to go to game 5. And he was like, nah. And I was like, well, I'm going to just book tickets.
Game 5 is not in Detroit. Game 5 is in Seattle. Right.
And I was like, but we got to do this. He's like, no. And I'm like, well, I'm going to buy tickets. And then you get to decide. And then he finally came around to the idea. We bought game 5 tickets.
Yeah.
We were able to get the last seats on the flight in from Detroit to get there in time. We barely pulled it off.
But your seats in Seattle were amazing.
Yeah. I mean, all our seats were great. Our seats were...
You were like closer than the umps.
Yeah. We could see all the things they were missing. We were behind the dugout, the Tigers dugout for both games 4 and 5. And game 5 seats were amazing. Let's not discount, though, they went and saw the Wings on Thursday in their home opener against another Original 6 team, the Montreal Canadiens, and then lose 5-1.
Sure.
Which was amazing.
Sure.
To just watch them completely eat it. So that wasn't the best highlight, but whatever. Then got to go to game 5 in Seattle. For those of you that don't know or aren't baseball fans, it was, as I've been told, one of the most amazing playoff baseball games. This was an elimination game. It went 15 innings, which is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, you basically saw 1 2/3 baseball games. I will say this, as someone who's self-described not a huge baseball fan, for probably the last 5 innings, I thought I was going to pass out from the anxiety and stress. My heart was going crazy. We had so many innings.
I love free baseball.
Yeah.
Believe me, I love extra
Yeah.
innings. I love free baseball. I do not love free baseball in the postseason. It's so stressful.
Especially in a double elimination game. Like whichever team loses is done.
Yes.
That's it. Your season's over. And Detroit had so many missed opportunities. I mean, at one point, we had the bases loaded, I think 1 out from the Mariners, and they somehow got a double play. I was like, this is it. It's over. And then somehow we got through it. It was incredible to watch.
You both had so many missed opportunities.
Totally. And it just becomes a war of attrition, right? You just like, someone's going to screw up somewhere. Someone's going to make a mistake, and the other team capitalizes on it. Yeah. But we had a ton of fun. That we had balls thrown to us. I had a wager with the Mariners fan next to me, who was wearing a very nice Mariners jacket, that the winner would get the other guy's jacket.
Love it.
And that was awesome. He offered the trade jackets at the end of the game. I said, no, that was not the deal.
Sure.
I said, you get to wear this tiger jacket like a tiger pelt. And he did. He put it on over his jacket. He was extremely gracious. We took photos together. And then my phone started lighting up because that exchange was captured on the telecast.
Sure.
And people were like, are you at the Tigers game? I think this is you. And I was like, yep.
Oh, no, I sent you stills of yourself on TV, of you and Sean on TV.
Oh, yeah. I got the stills. I got the video. Everything. So anyway, long story short, I got to see a total of 4 Detroit games back to back in 2 different cities. It was an absolute hoot. We met some great people along the way. We had a ton of fun, lots of pictures. I'm really glad we did it and we got to pull it together at the expense of there being no nonsense last week. Well, there was the mini abridged nonsense, the one-sided nonsense, but
all my parts minus all of yours.
Otherwise, I'm very happy to be back.
You didn't even mention you were on the cover of the Detroit Free Press above the fold.
We also somehow made it on the
picture
of the
you
Free
and
Press.
Sean.
It's not important. Nobody wants to see us.
You need to post those links to those pictures in the show notes. People need to see those pictures. That was such a fun adventure.
It was a very fun adventure. I don't know what actually got printed, but at least online you can find the pictures and the article and all that fun stuff. So it was a really fun time, and this is just one of those things where if you're going to do it, go do it. Go do it at 100%. And it was a blast. So we're already planning our next Detroit trip coming up here in the next couple of months, which will be, I'm sure, talked about here on the show.
Absolutely.
How about you? How was your week?
We're finally moving on to Dodgers at Brewers, game 2, and I also went to a Lakers preseason game. I have to say about getting knocked out, I have seen my teams win the last game of the season many, many times.
Yeah.
Right? The only thing I can tell you for certain is it is pure luck that is required to get you to the next rung of the ladder. Have you ever seen professional billiards?
Yes, of course.
Like when you and I play billiards, we basically trade turns. You take a turn, I take a turn, and we rarely get a ball in, and the game lasts for about 4 hours.
Yeah, that's not how
You watch championship billiards.
4 hours is fast.
You watch championship billiards. The game takes about 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Because one guy, the guy who
runs
breaks,
the board. Yeah.
runs the board. He takes all the shots.
Yeah.
And then the other guy gets to break, and he takes all the shots. There's literally no back and forth whatsoever.
Yeah.
The only thing you're waiting for is for one guy to make a mistake, and then the other guy owns it.
Yeah, such a stimulating show.
This is what it is like.
Yeah.
This is what postseason baseball has been like this year. I'm just waiting for one guy to make a mistake somewhere, and that's the end of the game.
Yeah.
I did not feel confident the Dodgers were going to prevail. There happened to be this crazy play where the pitcher got the ball and threw it to the home plate instead of throwing it to first base. And
Oopsies.
I mean, it was just a tiny little mistake, and it cost them the season. It's the end of their season.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it takes, right?
That's all it takes is this tiny little mistake. And either side could make them, but pure luck if your team gets to advance.
I mean, if you want to be an optimist, which I hopelessly am, I'm just very thankful that we didn't walk the winning run in, because we were so close to walking the winning run in.
Oh, I was sure you were going to.
I didn't mind losing.
No, to a hit.
I would have not loved for the last run to be walked in. That would have been a hard pill to swallow.
For sure.
But fortunately, they went easy on us and just won the old-fashioned way.
All right, that's all the time we have for this episode. We are going to do a couple little headlines. Are we okay moving on to headlines?
Oh, please. As long as we're talking about the Tigers or the Dodgers, I'm in.
Labor market shock as government overshoots jobs countdown. A preliminary Labor Department report revealed that U.S. employers added 911,000 fewer jobs than initially tallied for the year ending in March. The record high revision suggests the labor market is much weaker than we expected. The finding comes as President Trump has been politicizing the Bureau of Labor Statistics, claiming the agency manipulates data, which fueled his firing of the previous BLS head. The White House, despite the revision covering a period mostly under Trump's term, quickly claimed vindication and demanded new leadership to restore trust in the BLS.
Yeah.
The routine revision to check against tax records is now fueling worries about the integrity of economic data. Both Trump's attacks and his conservative nominee for BLS head have raised concerns about political motivation.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. So this is roughly, what, 0.5% of our labor force, give or take?
Yeah.
Like, it's not a small number. It's a pretty sizable number. I'm just fascinated by this. So it's like, well, they're clearly not doing a good job. And it's like, wait, what?
Well, no, those things are really, really loose estimates. And when you get the tax returns, you actually see
for sure.
what's the actual truth.
Yeah, but what we adjust to the tax returns, which is what we've done forever, at least for the past 20 plus years.
Always.
This has been forecasted and predicted, and you adjust back. So like, well, I don't understand what the problem, like, you want to just make up a number? Like, you want to just Ponzi scheme it?
They would like to be able to make up numbers. That's exactly what's happening.
Not entirely sure what the problem is here.
The problem is there will be tax receipts at the end of every year. They want to complain they were handed a weaker economy than they were actually handed, but there are actually tax receipts. We actually do see what the real numbers were. You can't really lie about what you got in terms of tax receipts.
You know, for last year, exactly. Like, you know what, well, I mean, I guess you certainly could lie, but there's a count of those.
Too easy to check.
Sure. Exactly. Just you sum the column. It's not too terribly hard. So yeah, this is not a surprise to me, but make America employed again.
The White House and Treasury Secretary are using the weaker data to aggressively pressure the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates immediately, saying the Fed is choking off growth.
You're complaining that the numbers were unjustly inflated. You fire the dude running it, and then you say, well, because those numbers were inflated, now we need to change Federal Reserve policy. That's the path here.
Anytime you lower the interest rate, you're taking money from almost in every case, you're taking money from seniors because they have fixed income. Fixed income is the one who takes the burden of the lower interest rates.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on the plus side, those people are all going to die soon, so it's okay.
Or if they don't, they're going to run out of money
and then die soon.
Meanwhile, Trump said he was shocked. He was surprised by China's rare earths restrictions. You know, he was going to put the the tariffs on China, and then just everything they were going to kowtow and cave to his every thing.
No. I love calling it the Trumps. Now he's going to put the Trumps on China. Oh, that's brilliant.
And instead, what happened was they came back with these restrictions on rare earth metals, which they control like 70% of the world's supply.
Yeah.
And he was shocked and surprised, apparently never thinking one step ahead. What might China do if we do this?
I think he was quoted as saying something like, did you know this information's all available on Wikipedia? I had no idea. You could just go read it whenever you want. How strange.
Someone could have read ahead.
So what was the surprising part? When you tariff a bunch of things, I'm sorry, I misspoke. When you trump a bunch of things coming in from China, and then they go, well, okay, maybe we should do the same with you. Yes, no one could have seen that coming. You're right.
Shock, surprise.
Nostradamus himself could not have seen this coming. He would have had no idea that this is what was going to happen.
Trump accused China of trying to clog markets and warned that U.S. holds much stronger monopoly positions it will use.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I think it might be the other way around. I think that's part of the problem. Like, this is a lot of nose cutting off to spite our faces. They got a lot of other markets to sell to, too. So I'm not convinced that this is going to work out well.
It's a big world, and they make a ton of varieties of product. When you
of course.
start shopping around AliExpress, you realize not only can I get this thing that I want, I have 17,000 versions of this thing that I can
Play
get.
the other game. Go to AliExpress and try to find things they don't have. Play that game. Go.
That's a harder game.
What do you not have? Like, what is it, the thing that I want that you don't have? And you're going to be pretty hard pressed because it's all there.
In response, Donald Trump threatened to impose a 100% tariff on Chinese goods, which would be over and above any existing duties.
Sure.
This would raise the overall average tariff on Chinese imports to an estimated 130%.
Makes total sense. I couldn't imagine what they could do to retaliate. It's not like they have anything they could. Oh wait,
they have everything.
What are we doing here? It's a race to the bottom. I'm gonna start growing corn. That's just my thing. I'm just gonna forget all this home automation stuff that's gotten 3x more expensive.
Soybean farmers will never get their ground back.
Yeah.
What they've basically done is made China buy soybeans from lots of other countries who can produce soybeans. And those poor U.S. soybean farmers
not grown soybeans.
Are going to be never going to be a market for their soybeans again.
Here we are.
The tariffs are slated to take place on November 1st, 2025, or sooner, depending upon China's subsequent action.
Or sooner. So the weight of our threat is that we can move it up 3 weeks?
I guess.
Wow. Wow, you really got a giant anvil over their head, don't you? It's coming in 3 weeks or sooner. This sounds like the kind of threats I make to my children.
Oh, totally. Or the kind of threats they make to you.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm going to take something away tomorrow. I don't know what it is, but tomorrow I'm going to take something away. Like, okay, Dad, sure thing.
And just to add to the Keystone cops in the government. Story. The FCC is eyeing relaxing broadband nutrition labels.
Oh, yeah.
The less you know. You don't have to know as much about what your money's going for and how much things are going to cost.
Yes, and they wrapped this up, I think, in it was overly burdensome for the communication companies, which I thought was really
the ISPs.
Such a fascinating view. These are some of the highest revenue companies in the country.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently it's too burdensome for them to tell you what the average rates are and break down the taxes and how much bandwidth you get.
Enormous margins.
Insanity to me. There is really no good argument from a consumer's perspective to take this away. This isn't going to make your bill any cheaper.
No, in fact, they're going to hide costs and make your bill more expensive.
It's just the opposite. And I just don't. It's well, we're reducing red tape. I'm like, well, I don't think that's the red tape you mean. You're breaking out taxes. They are literally paying the taxes. It's just division. It's not hard, but we don't want those things visible.
Well, because if they're not visible, you can add on all sorts of fees that go to your company.
It's just fees.
It's just fees. Various governments.
I mean, and I love that we call this the nutrition label for broadband because that's really what it is. Yeah. I also thought it was amusing.
What you're paying and where it's going.
And by amusing, I mean the opposite of amusing. Part of what they also asked to strike down on these new requirements was machine readable formats. So there's a requirement for it to be machine readable.
Of course.
Which is probably 15 to 20 minutes of work from somebody. And they're like, no, that's onerous. We got to take that out.
It's a typeface. It's just you're choosing a different typeface. Once you choose it, you never have to re-choose it.
You know what that does? Taking that out, it just means now people can't compare, which I guess really kind of doesn't matter since most people only have one option anyway. What are you going to compare it to? I can just compare my shitty rates against someone else's better rates of, Google Fi in Kansas.
Okay, well, enough trashing the government. Now let's trash Elon Musk.
Oh, this will be fun.
Elon Musk Boring Company slammed with environmental violations in Las Vegas. Elon Musk's Boring Company is facing accusations of nearly 800 environmental violations in Las Vegas, stemming from its work on the Loop underground transport system.
Let's be clear. You have managed to upset the environmental folks in Las Vegas. This is where people on any given day are peeing and puking on the streets of Las Vegas.
Sure.
And on any given month, the mob is burying at least 2 bodies in the desert. Those are the people you managed to upset. That's what they normally deal with, and you've managed to upset them.
The company committed infractions over 2 years, including releasing untreated water onto roads and into storm drains, spilling muck from trucks, and drilling without proper permits. This really does completely sound like Elon Musk.
Of course.
Zero concern and regard for safety.
Yeah. Well, didn't they just recently have someone that was like injured in a tunnel? Like some dude got crushed. I mean, I know this happens.
Got crushed. They had a crushing.
Like I understand again that this happens, but when your previous history is just not abiding by these other safety regs, I gotta believe this is like maybe OSHA should go take a look because this sounds terrible.
I know in software things work when you go fast and break things.
Sure.
Try not to do that with human life.
I think that's the problem. I think that's really the underlying problem here is things are different. When you get to be a certain size, you work on a certain set of products, things should be different for all of us. Mm-hmm. And yeah, when you're breaking the payment processing for early day PayPal,
who cares?
It's not the end of the world, right? It could be if you were big enough and now someone can't get their home food delivery that they need. Yeah, that could be problematic.
You roll it back, it takes 10 seconds.
Sure.
Who cares?
But when this is like the old saying that building code is written in blood. Like that's those building codes are there because other people have perished. And I think about that the same way with like FSD or even with something like the Boring Company, where it's like you're dumping a bunch of untreated water into the sewer system. That's really not great for the rest of us. Really not great.
Fabulous for you. You save quite a bit of money on cleanup and taking care of toxic materials. That's nice.
Sure.
Beijing strikes back at foreign scrutiny of Huawei's supply chain. China is retaliating against Canadian research firm Tech Insights for exposing how Huawei still relies on foreign components for its advanced chips. China's Ministry of Commerce blacklisted the firm as, quote, an unreliable entity, unquote, banning Chinese citizens and companies from any transactions or sharing any sensitive information. While China cited safeguarding national sovereignty, the move follows Tech Insights' recent teardown of Huawei's Ascend 910C AI chip.
Yeah, all of this tracks. I mean, they are, in fact, an unreliable entity. They're unreliable at telling the PRC story.
Yeah.
So that makes sense, right? They're not doing that well.
You break down a chip, you can actually see where the parts came from. And parts came from TSMC, where they're not supposed to come from.
Yeah.
They came from South Korea, where they're not supposed to come from.
And that does safeguard their national sovereignty because they don't need people tearing down these chips and showing where the parts come from in order to maintain PRC's stranglehold on Chinese chips.
And PRC is now saying that they're not going to get chips that they can analyze. This Canadian firm is not going to get chips that they can analyze and tear down.
Good luck.
Right. It's the same problem.
Are you going to make stuff with them?
Literally, the fact that you were able to smuggle in chips to use,
exactly,
they're going to be able to smuggle out a chip to analyze.
It's arguably an order of magnitude easier for them to get the thing you make.
They need one
that you sell to a consumer, and then you to get all the pieces you need to make the damn thing. So this is not a surprise. I'm really glad that there are people doing this work. I'm really glad that folks like Tech Insights are doing this work.
Of course.
And being like, oh, look where this came from. It's really hard to hide. Yeah.
Those US bans aren't working so well.
They've done this before too, right? I mean, they've done this with Huawei smartphones before. So we'll see. I'm not convinced it's going to prevent future teardowns, but I'm with you. We'll see.
It's not going to prevent future smuggling of chips. It's not going to prevent any of that.
Yeah.
Nothing will change.
Until they start making their own chips.
Well, eventually they will.
They will. They'll get there. They'll get there before us too.
Well, sure, because they've got a much bigger population they can use to...
Cheaper labor costs, bigger population. Yep.
Okay, enough with the headlines. In fact, enough with the episode. We have to get out of here. Special thanks to our floor director, Mr. Sean Phillips.
Oh, thanks, Sean.
We won't be back later this week with our big story, but we will be back a week from today with more headlines. Until then, thank you for listening to all this nonsense. I'm Jeff Parker.
I'm Skittle.
Go Dodgers.
Is this where I say go Tigers? Because we're I don't know if you know this, but we're done for the year. So maybe I'll just sit here with my sad face.
Aw. Are you still showing off half a car? Your paint shines, your chrome gleams, but look down. Are your tires dragging your whole car back to the Stone Age? Your ride is a statement. Don't let dull, dried out rubber spoil the picture anymore. Your tires, side moldings, and trim take the worst abuse from the sun, smog, and ozone, the very things that break them down and make them look old. That's why you need Armor All Protectant.
Boo.
It's the secret formula that's revolutionizing car care. More than a cosmetic shine, Armor All's exclusive formula actually penetrates the surface to restore that rich, deep black luster to your tires and trim. Protect against damaging effects of ozone and UV rays, helping you keep your rubber and vinyl from cracking and fading. Satisfy your desire for a truly finished car. After every wash, apply Armor All Protectant to every rubber, vinyl, and plastic surface, from your dashboard to your door seals, and especially your tires. You can now get the look that screams perfection. Get Armor All.
Well, now I'm going to just piss off the Energizer Bunny folks that bought Armor All.
Yeah.
This stuff is junk, by the way. It's just terrible. It's like, it actually makes whatever you're putting on worse. I use stuff called Protectant 303, which I would strongly recommend, and I'll put a non-affiliate link in the show notes. It's way better, and it's literally all I use.
Now, in all fairness, Armor All doesn't use that original formula, which actually was drying out tires and vinyl and truly was making things worse.
Was it like WD-40? Like, is the answer is just fish oil? At the end, you dig in and you're just like, oh, it's just fish oil in a spray bottle.
I don't know what it was. It was this slimy...
And everything goopy. It attracted dirt.
Right, and dust would be attracted to it. Yeah. Okay, anyway, Armor All came out. It was revolutionary at the time. We didn't know it was damaging the things we were putting it on and we thought we were improving.
Sure.
What year?
Oh, that it came out?
Well, yeah, that's...
Oh. Man, I have no idea on this. I'm going to say 1976.
You are so close.
Really? I literally made that up.
Crazy you are that close.
I literally made that up.
There was a precursor to Armor All, but the Armor All that we know and love that was actually called Armor All, 1972.
No way. Wow.
Yeah.
I completely guessed just based on sort of like the space age. Like you're talking about this stuff that seemed to come off the tail of science of like the 60s moon landing. So I completely made that up.
100%.
Huh. Well, I'm not unhappy with that.
And now it's graphene ceramic coatings.
Oh, that stuff's amazing. If you have that done
ridiculous.
Right, it's incredible. Like you basically like your car just becomes like painted Teflon.
Yeah, for like a year. I mean,
like a year.
It lasts. You don't have to apply it every wash. They advertise like every 200 washes or some crazy thing like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I look, I don't understand. I'm gone for like a week and I come back and we're like the sports and car detailing show now.
Totally changed what the show was. Yeah.
Did you sign some endorsement deals while I wasn't here? Next week's going to be all pasta and Rubik's cubes. Like, wait, what? And on today's episode of Nonsense, Masta Choli, why you need it and where you get it. Like, wait, what?
I'm in. Should we have a category cube and we change the topic of the podcast every week?
I feel like, that would be fantastic. I assume most of our listeners have advanced ADHD like we do, and I think they would probably be down for that.
This week, poodles.
Today, bonsai trees. And you're just like, we like to trim from the bottom up. What?